So what's going on? Why aren't you down there?
It's just craziness down there. I'm just trying to pick and choose my events, and I was so burned out and so tired I had to take some days off. And I decided to make some adjustments in my life. I decided to get off Ritalin because it was really making me a lot crazier than it was good. It made me play really well a lot of times, but it also had really bad repercussions a lot of times. So I decided to take the days off to get it out of my body and to start working out because I have a big weight loss bet, as I talked about. I have to lose 56 pounds in a year for $100 grand. So I've been doing
Who's that weight loss bet with?
That's with Ted Forrest. And so I've been working on that, and I know you can't spell that right now because I'm a big fat butt, but that's okay. And, I'm looking forward to going over there tomorrow and on all week next week, and hopefully good things happen.
Good. Well, let's talk a little bit about your main event predictions. First off, let's start with the over-under.
I bet under 7,000 just recently for like 10 grand and laid 2 to 1. With the amount of people down there, I'm not quite sure that maybe I'm going to win that bet. But I still think I'm going to win that bet, but because I think everybody will be broke by then. Mm-hmm. I mean, we all know they're raking the shit out of everybody, running 3-4 tournaments a day, 9-10% juice. I mean, they're taking $1 million a day. By the time the main event comes around, it's going to be like $25 million out of the poker economy, and with food and everything, it's like $30 million out of the poker economy. I don't know how how everybody's not going to be broke by the end of the World Series. So, I stick with my prediction of under 7,000, maybe even under 6.
Okay. Now, I mean, you talk a lot about how it doesn't feel the same, But and we've talked about this before. I mean, it really seems like the World Series of Poker is now for the masses, for the common man. You really think that that's a completely bad thing?
I just don't like. I don't mind it being for the common man. I just don't like the fact that it's all about money to the Rio. It's all about corporate money. Who gives a shit about the player? I'll say it again. I have no problems bringing it up. I was in Cherokee Casino last week for Scotty Wynn's tournament, and I was treated like a king down there. I mean, they took care of my room. They took care of, they really took care of the high-end players. And I was happy to attract people to bring into their casino for me being there. Where me and the top players, I mean, we all show up down there and, we're bombarded by autographs and picks that we do for nothing, which I never would ever say no to anybody. But, I like to say this, since the Rio doesn't give us anything back, they don't do nothing for us, why not line up 10 or 20 top players everybody want autographs from, pay them $10,000 a day, and we'll sit there for 8 hours or one day during the World Series. Every one of us take one day, and we'll sign autographs for 8-10 hours straight. So this way we don't get bombarded during the World Series, and we can breathe down there. It's very, very tough on us. I can't say no. I just never say no. So it's very, very tough on us. I'd like to see the Rio. Hey, okay, we're the guys are putting up. We're making them all this money. The top players and all the people, all the fans are coming down to see certain players. Let them go out of the way and give us something back. I mean, before they gave us $2 million back with the TOC, which it only gave a certain amount of people back, and I was fortunate enough to do very well in there. This year, they're not even having the Tournament of Champions because they couldn't secure a sponsor. They're making $1 million a day. I mean, what they can't give $2 million back to the Tournament of Champions for people that qualified for it? I mean, are they that cheap that they can't do nothing back? I mean, give me a break. It's ridiculous.
Well, there are quite a few more events this year. We're doing, I believe it's 55 events in 45 days. What does that mean for the player who's playing most events? Do you think that gives them an advantage by the time main event
comes? No, not at all. I
that...
talked to Phil Hellmuth yesterday, and he called me last night on the phone, and he said, Mike, I'm absolutely beat. He goes, I'm so tired. I can't do this. I said, Phil, I just took 2 days off. I just slept for 21 hours straight. And it's just, you can't just get in one tournament into another tournament. And the big problem that I have with the 2 tournaments a day, more than anything, is you always prepare yourself for the World Series, meaning you get on the sleep schedule of waking up about 10, 11 a.m., you run, you work out, you go down there and you get ready to fight. Well, now you get up, 11, you go to a noon tournament, okay, you play till like midnight, you get knocked out, and now you don't get to play. The next tournament you want to play is at 5 a.m. tomorrow night, 5 p.m. the following night. So now you stay up longer because you don't want to be getting up early, and your sleep schedule is going back and forth, where you don't want to be waking up at 11 a.m. for a 5 o'clock in the morning at night tournament, because now you're going to be tired by midnight. So your sleep schedule, my sleep schedule has already bounced twice. where I had to stay up for 24 hours straight, and it's very, very, very tough because they're putting the good tournaments at night, and then the good tournaments they're mixing them. If they want to have all the small 15 to 2,000 buy-ins during noon and all the high-end buy-ins at night, that's fine. But they're mixing them so your sleep schedule is completely switching, and it's just burning everybody out. And I don't see anything good of how they're running the World Series this year. I think it's just a price gouging, raking, give a shit less about any poker player, and I'll go right on the record and say it. I don't give a shit. And everybody feels the same way, And I said, well, grab me a picket. I'm ready to go sit right out the front of the line. Who's ready to join me? You want to have 1,000 or 2,000 players? Grab a sign. Let's go. But nobody wants to because poker players are all idiots. So what can you do?
Well, one thing that the World Series is doing is bringing a ton of action to town. So I have two questions for you. How is the live action, if you've played it at all? And second of all, What do you think about these smaller events, the Venetian Deep Stack tournaments, the Bellagio Cup's coming up? The Venetian Deep Stack tournament recently got 600 players for a $300 buy-in, giving almost $80,000 to first place. That's got to be good for poker, right?
Yeah, but I don't, the World Series is still once a year. People want to win a World Series bracelet. They're always going to play a World Series event first. I'm not a big fan of all these other tournaments being run at the same time. As you know, I went went out on the limb and even made a bet with you that they wouldn't get more than 20 people in any event at the Bellagio Cup. And you thought I was crazy, but they're all $5,000.
Not just crazy, insane.
They're all $5,000 buy-in events. Who wants to put up $5,000 for a stupid tournament at the Bellagio? That's when you win a bracelet at the World Series, that could be worth a lot more financial to you. To me at least, winning a bracelet's worth a lot more because it could be worth a lot more down the road in endorsement money. So I wouldn't even possibly think of possibly playing a Bellagio tournament, and neither would any of the top players. But, it's run so bad down there, I might lose that bet because, it was up to, if I wouldn't mind playing at the Bellagio now because I hate it down there so much. But unfortunately, like I said, I have to play down there even if I'm going to play a tournament. So
right. Well, for the record, I disagree. I think the Bellagio Cup is going to be great. I think there's going to be tons of players. I think you're going to see most of the people that
I still think they're fed up with the Rio, but I still think it's bad for poker. I know they're trying to say, "Fuck you, Rio, stop taking advantage of people," and I respect that. But I also sit there and say, there's a time where you just got to let people have their day in the sun and trying to compete at the only time that somebody once a year they have their day in the sun. I just think it's more trying to step on somebody's foot. It's almost like, okay, we're going to start the new AB NFL at the same time the NFL starts their season and we just signed your two marquee names, Peyton Manning and so to our league. So your league, and nobody's going to stay. I don't care whether you could have Peyton Manning and LaDainian Tomlinson in your new league, and everybody else in the old league, and they're all still going to go to the NFL and watch the NFL. Those two players aren't going to do it. And that's where I say, I just think it's stepping on the wrong foot at the wrong time, even though I can't stand how it's the run down there. So,
well, we'll see what happens, but one thing we definitely will look forward to is seeing you playing more events down at the Rio, and we want you to take down your third bracelet.
I've got confidence. I'm running good. I'm running really good. I won like 200,000 in Chinese this week, another 200 the week before, crushing online. I was like 1.7 million in debt like on May 12th. We're now on June 7th, and I think I'm like 200,000 in debt. So
congratulations. So
things are going well.
Let's keep them going that way.
I've never. It's been a long time since I've been broke. I'm looking forward to getting there.
As opposed to being completely negative.
Right.
All right, Mikey. Good luck this World Series, and thank you for your time.
You got it. Later.